So the Trump administration is announcing that the U.S. is engaged in a formal armed conflict with cartels after striking drug boats off the coast of South America. We've been showing you these, and you're seeing them now. Since President Trump returned to the White House, the State Department has already designated 19 new foreign terrorist organizations. Many of those cartels are drug trafficking street gangs. Here to discuss this is retired four-star General Jack Keane. General, do you agree with the president's assessment? We're in an armed struggle with cartels. So a terror group within a country that we might be friendly with, like Mexico.
Yeah, well, it's obvious the cartels are weaponizing drugs for their own profiteering, for sure. It's undermining American society. The health and welfare of our society has been seriously penetrated. Hundreds of thousands of people have been killed by fentanyl alone. Now, the approach we've been taking isn't working. So this is an approach that's different, to be sure. We've stopped these boats in the past, but they keep coming. Now we're shooting the boats, and it's likely they're going to stop coming. The president, I think, is notifying Congress that he defines this as armed conflict, which legally then gives him the authority to treat it not just as a law enforcement and aggressive policing, where there's no threat to the police. Here, even though there's no threat to an armed military force, they can use that lethal force against them, even though there's no direct threat to them. Because why? It's an armed conflict.
Got it.
So that distinction is important. I think this will get discussed among lawyers. It's certainly going to get discussed among the Congress in terms of the legalities here. I'm not an expert on the legalities, but I do know what right looks like. And doing this makes sense to me.
If we could drone someone in Yemen and say they're a terrorist, I don't know why Democrats would want an interrogation of a Venezuelan drug boat. Let's talk about Gaza. Hamas has now had over 72 hours to get that Middle East peace plan that would allow them to, if they put down their arms, to weave back in. There's 20 separate axioms there. It looks like they're going to say no to this, despite Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and obviously the U.S., as well as Israel, backing this proposal. Then what if they say no?
Well, first of all, they didn't reject it out of hand immediately. Maybe the likely thing is they're going to counter with something that they want to negotiate over and remove. That would be a good one. Listen, if they're going to fold their hands here and continue to fight, Netanyahu is very clear, and he's got the president's support for it. He's going to go in there and finish it. And they've got them completely surrounded. They moved close to 1 million people out of Gaza City, and it's really quite remarkable. So what is going to be left is largely Hamas and those that are supporting Hamas. And they will go in there and systematically deal with them. Now, it will take time. This isn't going to end in just a couple of weeks. It'll take some months, and it'll take some patience if that is the objective. But Netanyahu, I support him completely on this. He's clear-eyed. He's got to finish these guys once and for all. It's fiction when people say, well, this is an ideology and you can't defeat it. That's nonsense. We defeated the al-Qaeda summarily in Iraq. These are guys with guns, and if you want to defeat them, you do what? You take their guns away and you kill them.
And ISIS in Syria. And I'd add this. Saudi Arabia gives me great hope. The Wahhabi religion that was part of their curriculum, they have a whole generation growing up, it seems, not hating the West. And we're seeing some changes. I know it's not like the West, but there's incremental changes there. I want to talk about Ukraine. You're all over this story. Ukraine pitched an idea to help sell American oil to Europe, icing out Russia. Evidently, they have pipelines in the ground that could get it over to Europe. We got the oil. We should take them up on this, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And listen, Ukraine has been doing great work with the assistance of the United States. Back in April, they began to systematically hit oil capabilities inside of Russia. And now there's distribution problems and gas lines that we're seeing in some of the major cities in Russia as a result of that. The president has opened the aperture even wider to use all of our long-range offensive systems, and there's more coming. And the United States targeting cell will assist the Ukrainians in reaching that. Russia and what's inside of Russia should not be a sanctuary where they can sustain the war.
And you've said this forever, and President Biden says, no, we have to have limitations. I want to see if the president's going to let them use the ATACMS, I guess, Barracudas, as well as Tomahawks to hit inside Russia. And the big story today in the Wall Street Journal, take a look at the headline, U.S. to provide Ukraine with intelligence for missile strikes deep inside Russia. I mean, we'll see how Russia feels about this. They're the one who walked away from the peace plan. So we know exactly where the energy sectors are. We're not going for apartment buildings like Ukraine is, but Ukraine's going to go for the energy sector. Is that significant? And do you think they should allow them to use Tomahawks and Barracudas that have ranges of 500 miles?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no sanctuary should exist in Russia. And what they have done as a result of the fact, think about it, they don't have to defend anything in Russia militarily, their logistics infrastructure, their oil capability, which sustains an army on the field, not just a population inside of Russia. And yes, their entire energy infrastructure, their industrial base should all be targets. I mean, we went after Germany's industrial base, Japan's industrial base, while we were also fighting frontline troops. This has been denied Ukraine to do it comprehensively. The administration is taking off all the restrictions.
Yep.
And letting them go forward, and our targeting cell provides them exquisite intelligence. So our audience understands this isn't something new. We've been providing intelligence to the Ukrainians from the outset, and it's very, very good.
Just so you know, and I think people saw Alaska, the president tried everything to get these two sides together and bring it to a close, and he took a lot of political heat because of it. Vladimir Putin has basically put his thumb in our eye, and it leaves the president no choice to amp it up and go all in with Ukraine, in my view. General, great to see you. Always educational to be here with you, especially in person.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I was here for my Yankees.
And they did win last night. And the good news is, if they keep winning, you're going to be back in Friday, too. Absolutely.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.